give a show of hands for a few, and then, you know what I'm saying, come back, all right? We live? All right, we'll give it a minute to populate. In the meantime, anybody have any questions in the room? All right, everybody knows the Bible. Got y'all. What's up? If you could for a few. That's your flavor? That's what you like?
I got the rest of that.
Yes, you did. That's all you want?
I want to save like for lunch. You know?
I understand. I ain't mad at you. It's probably the most Puerto Rican thing y'all ever see me do. Sip of Malta. All right, this is the Isupk Brotherhood class every single Tuesday, live at a headquarters. If y'all got any questions, you understand, y'all can go ahead, throw them in the chat. Any questions in the room? No? All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 15. Let's go to Deuteronomy 15 and 1. My pops would laugh at me because when I was a kid, I used to think these things tasted like mud.
They still do.
I don't think so. I don't know. My palate like warped over the years. It's completely different. It's crazy. Waylo, he got like a case of these in the fridge.
Miniature one.
A whole case. Young man right here in the front, my man right here. I'm gonna have you read it, all right? Nice and loud.
Okay. At the end of every 7 years, you shall make a release.
Where we at?
Deuteronomy 1.
Yep. 15 and 1.
15 and 1.
So at the end of, you understand, every 7 years shall thou make a release. Meaning, in our land, there was certain time periods where debts would be released. Our entire economy is based off of brotherhood, so that this way we wouldn't be able to enslave each other or rule over each other in a rigorous way, like this society tries to rule over us. You understand? Like, we're supposed to take care of the poor. You know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to try to profit over our brothers in order to keep them poor, like they try to do with us. They have enslaved us in a system of debt through interest rates and all of that. Because the problem is the small hats, you understand, the quote unquote, you understand, people who stole our identity, they control the banking systems. So because they look at us like the Goyim or the Gentiles, and they believe that they're the chosen, they believe that they could charge us usury. Usury is interest. When you deal with your brother, you understand, in business, if you lend me 500, I'm only supposed to pay you back 500. You understand? Same thing, vice versa. If I lend you 1,000, I can't collect 1,500 back for interest. You're supposed to just give me the amount back that I loaned you, so that this way we don't enslave each other as a system, you understand, of debt. So during certain time periods, we would release each other, you understand, from our labor or from our debt, because you could also sell your services. Meaning, if you owed somebody money and you understand they owned you understand, a very prominent business, or you understand, they had you understand, maybe they raised horses at the time, maybe they had a store, whatever the case may be, you could offer your services to work for them, and that would work off the debt. So there was different things that would be able to be done, you understand, with our brothers. But after you could not have your brother in debt to you for longer than 7 years. All right, keep reading, please.
Chapter 2. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lends aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called Yahuwah's release.
We don't say that in here. You
I
understand?
need to know your.
No sweat, no
I'm just
sweat.
reading.
But no, just so you know, the proper, you understand, and would be Yahweh. However, we don't just say the Most High's name consistently. So if you see the Lord in all capital letters, you could say the Most High.
Okay.
You understand? Because the scriptures say you're not supposed to use the Lord's name in vain. So when we utilize it for teaching purposes or for prayer. You understand? Outside of that, to just throw it around, like I've seen people put it on shirts and clothing, or don't use it for the password for your computer. You understand?
Okay.
All right. If you could, so now, what happens is what you see here is that you see your neighbor or your brother. Your neighbor is the seed of your people. It's our brother. It's our family. You understand? This is who this is for. Like our laws, our governing is for our nation, our people, our society. Read on.
Of a foreigner, you may exact it again.
Of a foreigner, meaning this foreigner is someone of another nation. You understand? This foreigner is somebody who is not of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Good?
But that which is yours, which your brother, your hand shall release.
You understand? But if it's your brother, we have to turn around and we have to release it. Read on, please.
Save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Most High shall greatly bless you in the land which the Most High gives you an inheritance to possess.
You understand? So the Lord gave us this land. And as a result, we're supposed to take care of the poor. You understand? Like we're supposed to, like if you're in that power position, you're not supposed to use it and abuse it. You're supposed to look around you and be like, how can I empower my brothers and sisters that's around us? And that's exactly what you saw at the cookout this weekend. You understand? Congratulations once again to newly raised Officer 5000 of Shargapan. You know what I'm saying? Get that in hand. That brother seriously, you understand, worked hard, you understand, and earned that rank. And that is a very powerful rank in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. You understand? So now, what we see is, I can't tell you, like, I think this is the first year at a cookout. I think we might have had more numbers from people that were not a part of our organization than that were. You know what I'm saying? Like usually, like we have about 200-300 people. That's us, brothers flying in from all over. I think this year, if there was 400 or 500 people at that cookout, I want to say more than half of them had to be, you understand, brothers and sisters from the community. What were you going to say?
The weeks prior, there's shelters all around us. So weeks prior, the Akim, we were all going to the shelters, speaking to brothers in the shelters, telling them to invite their friends. So at the cookout, we saw a bunch of brothers that we see in the neighborhood that live in the shelters coming to the cookout.
You understand? And that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to overlook the poor of the land. That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to, you understand, like this entire society will consistently not only look down on us, but especially look down on the poor amongst us. You understand? And I was walking somewhere the other day, and I was with somebody, you understand, from my slavery, and I wouldn't give any money to the Edomite, you understand, so-called Caucasian. But as soon as my sister asked me for something, you understand, I hit her off with something. And he looked at me and he's like, and I'm like, yo, these folks got a whole white privilege bag. They fumbled that? You understand? Because I'll tell you what, their people will look down on ours. We have to be able to help ours first. Like our people are destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Our people are the ones that got to fear when the police are behind them and whatnot. And that's how I explained white privilege to somebody. They were like, white privilege doesn't exist. I said, let me ask you something. When the cops got behind you, have you ever feared for your life? No. That's white privilege. Like you've never understood what it means to be, you understand, stopped and frisked. You don't understand what it means for that level of oppression. You understand? You could turn around, yell at the cop, rip up the ticket in front of his face. A brother can't do that. Latino can't do that. Native Indian can't do that. That's your white privilege. And he hadn't have nothing to say to me. You understand? Read on.
Chapter 5. Only if you carefully hearken unto the voice of the Most High, to guard to do all these commandments which I command you this day.
So if we were to actually listen to the Lord, we would have been able to prosper like that. But we didn't. You understand? Read on.
For the Most High blesses you, and he promised you, and you shall lend unto many nations, but you shall not borrow. And you shall reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over you.
That's how we were supposed to be. We were supposed to be the ones in control of the finances. We're supposed to be the ones, you understand, running the economy. And instead, you got the Rothschilds and the Warbirds and, you understand, so on and so forth. These JP Morgans, you have all of them who control like incredible amounts of wealth. You got a question?
So are you saying that the fake Jews study our Lord's statutes and commandments, utilized it, and then enslaved us?
Correct. Give that sister a hand. That's exactly what happened.
Because
Mhm.
isn't when you say like every 7 years, isn't it like that with your credit?
Exactly. This is where they get it from. Like when you look at, you understand, the structure, yeah, of this entire society, a lot of it is based off of the Bible. Even when you go back into medieval times, you know what I'm saying? Like you can go and look at how they did the pedigrees and the patents of nobility, and it was all based around the Bible. Like the Bible is so amazing that you can literally take a people, go into the Amazon, and rebuild an entire nation. It'll tell you how to build a government. It'll tell you how to run an economic structure. It'll tell you how to establish moral order. And Israel did that in 60 years in the wilderness. You understand? 60 years removed from Egypt. Like, that's how powerful this book is. So every nation on the planet has taken from this. And who's the one who runs all the credit unions and the banking systems? You understand? The quote unquote Amalek. You understand? So as a result, inside their institution, they put that in there that your credit will reset every 7 years. And they've put in there this system of debt that they charge us because they charge us usury and they eat off of it. Because you know the Federal Reserve that they run, you know, that's not federal at all. It's a private entity. You understand? Like, and you know that same institution pays no taxes on anything because they generate and create the money. And these are the same people who literally, I think that's probably in a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a breakdown on like the mark of the beast. And I'm going to come and show how from the Vatican to BlackRock and Vanguard, that these are the 666 who collectively control everything. These are the handful of Edomites that run the entire world. And like when you can look at that, it takes the magic and the mystique off the Bible, and you start to look at it and say, no, this is really happening right now. If we look outside our window, that there is a small, less than 1% of people on the earth who are literally running and controlling absolutely everything. Read on.
8. But you shall open your hand wide unto him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need, and that which he wants. Number 9. Beware that there be not a thought in your wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and your eye be evil against your poor brother.
So now this is the Lord trying to, you understand, make sure that if even the thought pops in our head, we would have a law to be able to check it. We would have a reference point. You understand? Like, beware, because the Lord knows what it's like dealing with money. You know what I'm saying? You want to get paid, you want to come up. We can't think greedy with one another. Good?
And he cry unto the Most High against you, and it be sin unto you.
You understand? And if he sin unto you, which means the Lord's going to deliver. You know, the scriptures say the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Good?
10. You shall surely give him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give unto him.
And you can't be grieved when you do that for your brother. Good?
Because that for this thing the Most High shall bless you in all your works, and in all that you put your hand unto.
And that's what we need. You know, Sharukta. You understand? And that's exactly what we need. We need the Lord to be with us. You done? You should rip the Lord be with you out. You understand? And the problem is the Most High has been against us. Like our power has been literally against us to the point where we're on the bottom of every socioeconomic ladder. These heathens lend to us now. We're the ones who sit here and are destroyed and have to beg and sleep in the streets and look for their mercy. Like, why do we need WIC? Why do we need EBT? You understand? Like, we're the greatest people on the face of the earth. Like on what level? Like you know, it's crazy. The other day I seen the American team for sprinters. There wasn't one Edomite on the field, man or woman. You understand? Because everything that we do is greater than every single other nation. So if we're the fastest swimmers, yeah, they put a Puerto Rican in the pool. That's just the dust at everybody a few years ago at the Olympics. You get what I'm saying? Like, you got Sha'Carri Richards, you understand? Smoking everybody on the track. And if it ain't her, it's the Benjamites, it's the Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we're the fastest, we're the strongest. We do everything better than everybody else. We set all the trends. We're responsible for every form of music in the Western Hemisphere. You know what I mean? Like, we literally invented everything. Like, everybody turns around and thinks that Edison invented the bulb. He invented a piece of the light bulb. Lewis Latimer invented the light bulb and the entire electrical grid that we use today. You understand? I think some Latino brother invented the television. It was two brothers who invented the radiator. Like, we are responsible. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't either they whitewashed Eli Whitney, or you understand, or they stole that invention from a slave, because ain't no reason for a white man to create a cotton gin. You understand? Like, invention comes from necessity. You know what I mean? Like, white man don't care about making your job easier, but we have to have the ingenuity to figure out a better way to do it. Y'all with me? Read on, please.
12. And if your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto you and serve you 6 years, then in the 7th year you shall let him go free.
You skipped the verse. If you could read 11.
11. For the poor shall never cease out of the land.
Now, this is what we got to understand. There's always going to be rich and poor. You understand? The poor is never going to be out the land. But the difference is that we can't look down on our poor. We can't look down on the less fortunate. All of the laws, statutes, and commandments. Like Yahweh said what? He said that the law hinges on two things: loving the Most High and loving your brother as yourself. So when you look at every law, this is either about the Most High or this is about your brother. That's it. You understand?
Right.
Even when it comes down to when it says if you have a vineyard or all your crops in your field, you understand the borders of it. You're not supposed to harvest or glean the borders of it, meaning the entire outside. Why? Good?
Because it belongs to the poor.
That exactly. It belongs to the sojourner. You understand? Meaning the Israelites who travel, you understand, around. The poor. You understand? Those who are less fortunate enough or who are hungry. They're supposed to be able to come up and take an apple right off the tree because they're hungry in that moment. Bring a couple home to their family. Because our economy is based off of helping one another. You can finish that verse.
Therefore I command you, saying, you shall open your hand wide unto your brother, to your poor, and to your needy in your land.
And that's what we're always supposed to do. There will always be poor in the land. There will always be, you understand, some amongst us who don't have the ambitions to, you understand, maybe run a huge plantation of some kind, a vineyard, or whatever the case may be. You understand? There's nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong with that if you have an abundance and you can't see that you've been blessed by the Most High and you do not, you understand, take care of those that are around us.
Isn't that like how it is now? The rich are greedy and they don't know.
Exactly. Because the scripture says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. And the wicked have been running the earth. And that's why you hear so much sighing and crying. That's why, like, you know, I keep seeing things online where, You got brothers who are masked up and they're running into stores and snatching all the clothes off the rack, you know what I'm saying, all the designer in order to sell it. And I see people who turn around and they talk down on it. But then they support OnlyFans, right? And now I turn around and like, this is what you got to realize about strip clubs, OnlyFans, and boosters who are running into the Gucci store and running out with racks. They all have the same underlining things, you understand, together. They all have a common denominator. Poverty, because if you got that much money, you don't need to steal from a store. It's irrelevant. Unless you're a kleptomaniac, you're not going to go in there and just, you understand, decide to steal something. Well, why do you think a sister needs to sell her body? Poverty. Why do you think sisters want to dance on a pole? You understand? Because they see a faster way to be able to get to money. They don't want to sit there and work in McDonald's for $15 an hour when they could go make a couple of thousand for 3-4 hours in a night. Poverty gets us to erode our morals because we want more. Because that's all they push in Babylon. They push materialism. The church pushes gain as godliness. You understand? The pastor ain't in no RAV4. The pastor driving up the block in a Bentley. You know what I'm saying? The pastor who got robbed in Brooklyn, how much was his chain around his neck? I think he was rocking like what, 70,000 when they came and robbed him? And then he yelling out the congregation, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't putting nothing back into the community. You've been robbing the community. It's about time you got robbed. Salakia. Stealing is wrong. You understand? But what I'm saying is that's judgment. You understand? Like you think you're gonna keep sowing evil and evil ain't gonna fall upon you? What are we talking about here? Now, no one should steal from anybody, but I'm just highlighting the crime. Like, how dare you be upset, you understand, about crime and theft when you just robbing everybody?
Right.
Because they'll say the laws are done away with, but pay your tithes. That's the only law that ain't done away with. And then you got Israelites who wake up, and now they want to push the law, but the only law they ain't want to do is what? The one that hurts their pockets, which is tithes. Ain't that something? So we have to be able to take care of each other, good?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that's the reason why I stopped going to church. Because the pastor is telling people to pray for their heaven, but the people see the pastor having his heaven right here.
Listen, and what you just said is exactly right. And that's what we got to get out of. The church teaches a sense of fatalism. Everything is dying. Everything is going to meet the Lord. Everything is when I get to go to this whole other dimension. Chinese got their heaven right now. They ruling. They got a rich history, talking about the Shang dynasty, the Han dynasty. You know what I'm saying? Hundreds and hundreds of years of rulership. And you understand, they're colonizing the earth right now without firing a bullet. Like, you see all these other people living deliciously, and we're destroyed. And that's because we did not hearken on to the Lord. Any questions? I think I saw a question online before you had gone.
Come on, I have a question from Ilatiza. Wants to get a breakdown of Romans chapter 9, verse 30 through 33.
All right, let's go there.
Romans chapter 9, verse 30. What shall we say then? That the Gentiles, which followed not after righteousness, have attained to righteousness, even a righteousness which is of faith.
Keep reading.
Verse 31. But Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness, have not attained to the law of righteousness.
Good.
Verse 33. Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumbled at that stumbling stone. Verse 33. As it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling block and rock of offense, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed.
So To the brother who asked this question, what specifically are you asking? And then also, I want to know, who do you believe these Gentiles are in verse 30? Give him a second to answer, all right?
Come on.
If anybody else has any questions, you can go ahead and type them in. Hey, Thawada the AWOL for your donation.
I have a question.
Good.
Is the account with David and Saul's son, isn't that like a perfect precept for brotherhood?
For sure. You understand? Because Saul was the king of Israel, and Jonathan defied his father to spare David's life. That's how tight that they were. You understand? So that's a perfect scenario for brotherhood, where it says that they love surpassed even that of a woman. You understand? Meaning, like, you know, like Cap always gives the answer. You know what I'm saying, about Belly. You know what I mean? Like when Nas was in the crib with his wife T-Boz. You know what I'm saying? And then you had DMX circling the block, and he's hitting them up. And she like, you better not go out there and mess with Tommy. And he go out there anyway. You understand? Because you love your woman, but your brother needs you right now. So you understand? That's how your love could surpass that of a woman. You understand that? Like, he's in trouble right now, and that's going to supersede the worries of your wife. You understand? I tell all my wives that. I'm like, if I got to go to camp, I'm with the Acu.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why? So we got to handle business.
Okay.
You understand? Listen, I would love to just lay up on Saturday in bed with, you understand, one of my wives. It would be amazing. You know what I'm saying? Sleep in, be great. You understand? However, you got work to do. You understand? So this brotherhood that we have surpasses all of that, because the brotherhood is going out and teaching these brothers that everybody else looks down on, that nobody else cares about, that nobody else wants to educate, that nobody else wants to speak this truth to. All right?
We have a few questions. I like to respond saying, Gentiles are Israelites scattered. The law of righteousness is confusing me.
Okay. What did he say on the bottom?
On the bottom, he said, Israel sought righteousness by the law, but not by faith. What does that mean as well?
Okay, I got you. All right. So now, when it says that Israel sought righteousness by the law, you got to understand, I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago when we were in Chicago, right? Is that you have the law, which is the written law. Thou shalt not kill. You understand? The dietary law, Leviticus the 11th chapter. Then you have the law, which is how the law works, the proceedings of it. You understand? Like, law has context. Like, if I say the law is coming right now, what am I talking about? Nobody know? If I say the law is behind me, what am I talking about?
So like you said the law or the Lord?
If I say the law.
The Torah?
No. If I say the law is behind me, I got the laws in my rearview mirror.
Police?
There we go. The police. Because the police is the law, is it not? Because what do? They perform acts and service of the law. They enforce it. You understand? Us enforcing the law doesn't make us righteous. And what I mean is, if we're driving down the road, right, you get a speeding ticket. You drive? Never.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But when you did drive, you ever speed?
Yeah.
You ever get a ticket?
Yeah.
Did it stop you from speeding?
Yeah.
Nah, because the law don't make you righteous. Meaning, the penalty of the law, the enforcement of it, it doesn't change you. That's not what changes us. That's not what works for us. We know that because we got the speeding ticket, we still kept speeding. You get the parking ticket, I'm still double parking. This is New York. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what's going down. It's not changing. Well, if you look at the penalty back then, you know, aside from the penalties of being stoned or burned at the stake or whatever the case may be, if you had to pay a turtle dove, I got a whole flock of birds.
Right.
It wouldn't stop you from sinning. If you were rich and you had all the cattle, what does it matter? You could just kill the cattle, which is why the Lord says, I take obedience over sacrifice, because the sacrifice means you fell short. The sacrifice means you failed. So when it turns around and it's talking about this law of righteousness, you understand, meaning with the keeping the law is how you're righteous. But we continue to break the law, and the punishments didn't make us righteous. It didn't make us change. It didn't make us follow. Moses knew how to punish us. Christ knew how to change us. So this is the example that I gave, you understand, a few weeks ago. So I said, if you were on death row, right? You about to walk down the Green Mile, could be firing squad, could be whatever form of capital punishment or execution they're going to perform. And right before you're executed, somebody else steps up and says, release him, take me instead. And you watch this man die. Imagine now, like, this is the question I'll ask rather. If you now are free after you were about to die and you know someone else died for you, would you in your right mind have any love for the man who died for you if you committed the same crime that got you locked up in the first place?
I would say that his death is in vain.
You would say his death it meant nothing. It didn't mean anything. Here's the truth of the matter. Really, your life is no longer yours. You have to go out and live for that person now because they paid a price for you. Well, that's what Yahushua did for us. He died for us to be able to get a second chance. He interceded with the Lord. He was a brother who lived his life perfectly and had so much favor with the Lord that he's now the mediator. That he's now a method, you understand, for us to be able to receive mercy. So if you actually believe Christ died for you, if you had that faith that he really died for you, you know what you would never do? The same thing that got him put to death in the first place, which is what? Sin. So instead, we would keep the law. Because like the speeding ticket won't help us, like the lamb or the turtle dove or the oxen didn't change us. If you really believe another man died for you, well, now that changes everything. Now I can't piss on what he died for. Now I have to change. Let me know if that answered the brother's question, all right?
Come on, come on.
Y'all can go ahead, type in whatever questions y'all got.
Salakia, also Paraza1 asked Salakia, what was the last Salakia? What was the last couple of precepts that you were covering about?
We were reading inside of Deuteronomy 15 about taking care of the poor in the land, and then we came to this. After that, we came to this question inside of Romans.
I have a question.
And the book, Ed.
I want to know, like when Yahushua to return, what does he do about the fake Israelites in Israel?
Well, it's a couple of things that could happen. Let's go to Matthew's, the 7th chapter.
Come on, come on.
Just so you know, this is not just what I'm about to tell you is not just for fake Israelites. It's for Christians. It's for anybody who is perpetrating and not really in the truth and claiming that they serve, you understand, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and our King Yahushua. All right. So let's go to Matthew 7 and I want to say 20, so I'm in Mark. Hold on. Matthew 7 and 21.
Come on, Clyde.
Nice and loud for me if you can.
Come on, Clyde. Matthew chapter 7, verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord.
So you know, everybody turns around and says, you understand, Lord, Lord, Adawan, Adawan. Good?
Shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Good?
But he that doeth the will of my Father,
But he that doeth what?
the will of my
Go
Father,
ahead.
which is in heaven.
So now, he that does the will of the Father. So now, there's going to be a clear distinction between them that do the will of the Father and them that don't. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
So you got all these people talking about, I prophesy in the name of Yahweh Shah. I say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. I speak the holy tongue. Go ahead.
And in thy name have cast out many devils.
And in thy name they cast out many devils. Can I tell y'all a secret? They really haven't. They really haven't casted out many devils. Just like the Christian church hasn't casted out many devils. They acting like they performing the exorcisms. You ever see that one video with the cat throwing his jacket and the whole everybody falling over? That's not real. You know, even when you go and look at the cult of Jim Jones, they said he was faking those miracles. He was putting plants in the crowd and acting as if he was doing those things. They're not really casting out those devils.
Right.
Read on.
And in thy name done many wonderful works.
Look at the many wonderful works. They go to camp, right? They do all these things, right? Yeah, they wear fringes. Yeah. Good.
Verse 23. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
He shall say what?
I never knew you.
This is one of the most horrifying things. You don't want Yahweh Shah to return and say, I never knew you. That means all that labor and work that you thought you were doing is really in vain. Good?
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
You understand? That's what's going to happen. Christ is going to dismiss them. You understand? Now, let me take... You have another question?
No, I was just gonna say, they're gonna get dismissed, but then what happens to the real Jews?
Well, the real followers of Christ, well, first of all, you have the 144,000 who gets crowned. All right? So, you know what I'm saying? We could read about that in a couple of books. We could read about that in the Apocrypha. We'll go there in a minute. We could read about that also inside of Revelations, the 7th chapter, which we'll go there in a minute. But I just want to show another side of it. Let's go to, before we go and answer what's going to happen to those that actually obeyed Christ, let's stick with one more time with the people who disobeyed Christ. Let's go to Luke, the 19th chapter. I want to say that might be verse 21 too. Let me see. Yeah, you know what? This is actually perfect. Let's, I was just going to fast forward straight to the point, but I'd rather break this whole thing down. So, no sweat. Take your time. If you could pick up reading form. We're in Luke 19 and 12.
Luke 19 and 12?
Please.
Luke 19:12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return.
So now this is a parable. So in this parable, that is a metaphor. You understand? Christ is actually speaking of himself. He's this nobleman. Christ is of a royal lineage. You understand? He's a descendant of King David. He is the rightful heir to the throne of Israel. And now he had taken a trip you understand, had gone on a journey in order to receive the kingdom. Well, he's on a journey right now. When he comes back, he's going to receive his kingdom. Read on.
13. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, Occupy till I come.
You understand? He gives them 10 pounds, gives them some money, and he gives them work and says, occupy till I come. So you better work until I get back. Good?
14. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, We will not have this man to reign over us.
And this is every fake Israelite. This is, Old Testament only. This is everybody who turns around and is supposed to be called for this, and instead they ignore it. They don't want to labor. They don't want to serve Yahushua. They'd rather stay in the church. They'd rather get high. They'd rather stay in the world. You understand? They hate him. They hate him because he actually requires something of you. You know why people love Christianity? Christianity requires nothing of you.
Right.
You understand? You don't get judged for being a Christian. You get embraced. You don't get told you're in a cult for you understand, for being a Christian. And it ain't nothing. I mean, I'll go inside the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has something called transmorphification, where they ring a bell, and when the bell rings, they take those little crackers and the wine, and that transforms into the body and blood of a demigod. And they pass a goblet around, a gold goblet, and everybody drinks the blood of a god. That don't sound like a cult to you? That sounds like a cult to me.
Right.
You understand? When do you ever, you could put plants in your house. When do you ever take a full tree and put it in your house? Besides Christmas. And then decorate it. And then why do the gifts go under the tree?
Right.
Because you're paying tribute onto your God. And then they go Christmas caroling and they sing Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. You sang to a tree. That sounds like a cult to me. But that's normal?
They're making you bow down to get the present.
Just raise your hand though.
Oh,
All right?
sorry.
No sweat. But go ahead.
They make you bow down to get the present.
Make you bow down to get the presents. You understand? Because you're paying homage onto your tree. You understand? Onto which your tree is now your God. It's your idol. Which is why the Rockefeller Center, they go and get one of the biggest trees in the world, light it up for the whole world to see. That sounds like a cult to me. And people travel all over the world. Look at the tree. There's trees everywhere, dog. What are you talking about? So this is what you're reading about. You're reading about those people who would rather be inside of these philosophies that don't judge them. Good?
Question. Is celebrities like idols? Is that idol worship?
It can be. You understand? Like it depends on what the extent of it would be. If you got a shrine of them, pictures all over the wall, and you revolve your entire life around them, then you're worshiping that person as an idol. You know what I'm saying? Where everything in your life is solely around this idol, this person. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be a form of it. Like if you're putting them before the Lord, that's when it becomes an issue. All right. Read on.
15. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading.
So now he's taking an account of, in this time, what have you done? I put you in charge of something. What have you done with what I put you in charge of? Go ahead.
16. Then came the first, saying, Adonai, your pound has gained 10 pounds.
Good.
17. And he said unto him, Well, good servant, because you have been faithful in a very little, have authority over 10 cities.
So now, because he multiplied his penny, he's like, well, I got this kingdom now. I'm going to put you in charge of 10 cities. This was the reward. And he continues to go down, you understand, until he finds, you understand, read 20.
And another came, saying, Adonai.
You could say either Lord or Adawan.
Adawan?
Adawan.
Ottawa?
Adawan.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Adawan. And another came saying, Adawan, behold, here is your pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin.
So all the other cats, they worked. They flipped the money. You understand? They got a return. You flip 10, here's 10 cities. You flip 5, here's 5 cities. This cat held the one, buried it, waited for him to come back, and gave him back exactly what he gave him. No increase. Go ahead.
21. For I feared you, because you are an austere man. You take up that you laid not down, and reap that you did not sow.
You understand? Thou takest up that thou laidest not down. You pick up what you ain't put down. He's like, you are austere man. This is the real character of Christ. Like Yahushua looks like this cat right here. You understand? He look rough. That's an austere man. He's not to be trifled with. You understand? Debo. You know what I mean? Like when he gone, then they be talking again. Like that's how that go. You know what I'm saying? Or Tebow. Shout out to Captain Tazaiwan. You know what I'm saying? I think he's teaching class right now. So as a result, this man said, I feared you. So he didn't put no work in. It didn't matter that he was called by the Lord. He decided to waste his penny and not work. Good?
22. And he said unto him, out of your own mouth will I judge you, you wicked servant. You knew that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
Good.
23. Wherefore, then gave you not my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own with usury.
You understand? He said, yo, I came to pick up what, you understand, what I didn't put down. You know I wanted more. Out your own mouth, I'm going to condemn you. You were supposed to give me a little bit more off the top. And those that did received a great reward. You understand? But now this cat going to receive a punishment. But not just him. You understand? But just for time's sake, here's what we'll do. Drop down to 27.
27. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them.
So Christ takes his joint and gives it to the next man. And then he says, and my enemies, all those people that didn't want me to rule over them, go ahead.
Bring hither and slay them before me.
So let me tell you something. They're going to be put to death. Anybody that does not wish for Christ to rule over him is going to die. It's going to be unalived. Okay. Because we got the internet rules. Good.
So in verse 27, the enemies. So the context is talking about Israelites, not talking about the other nations.
The context is talking about anybody.
Anybody?
Now, the context is talking about his nation, his people. You know what I'm saying? Which is why when you read up, it says, you understand, but those people hated him.
Right.
You understand? Okay. But this is anybody, because remember, it says every knee shall bow.
Right.
Christ come back, he taking crowns.
Right.
Yahushua ain't playing no games. You know what I'm saying? But now, so the sister asked for part 2 of a question. She wanted to know about, now, what happens to the people who are right? Well, they get rewarded. They get rulership. That's the 144,000. So I said we'd go to Revelations. We'll go to Revelation 7. And Shaw, pick up for me and let's go to three. 7 and 3.
Revelations chapter 7 and verse 3.
We'll start at 2.
Come on. Revelations chapter 7 and verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
So now there's a judgment coming. You understand? Hurt the earth and the sea. Go ahead.
Come on, verse 3. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of all power in their foreheads.
You understand? So until we seal, you understand, the servants, this judgment ain't going to come. So now that's what we're all trying to be. We are all trying to be one of these servants that served the Most High Power, so that this way we could be sealed. Good?
Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Now, this is what the Most High is waiting on. You understand? He's waiting on us to be sealed. And out of us is 144,000. Now, this doesn't mean that only 144,000 is going to be saved, but there's only 144,000 who are going to be given that opportunity to flip those pennies, to rule, to be in charge, to be like remember earlier when I was talking about, you understand, like the Warburgs and the JP Morgans and the Rothschilds. That's who rules now. This is those seats.
Right.
This is the seats of rulership over the planet Earth. And if you think about, there's what, 7 to 8 billion people on the earth? 144,000 is not a lot of people.
Right.
That's very small. How many governors and senators are there just in the United States alone? You understand? Not many, a handful. And they run this entire country of, you understand, over, how many millions of people is inside of America? What, 300 million? I think there's 300 million people in America. And out of the 300 million people in America, there's a handful of people running the whole country. Well, this is who's going to rule the entire earth. Read on.
Verse 5. Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000.
You understand? Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. You got this?
So, sealed means just temporary.
So you want to think like, like if I seal this drink, you understand, or a seal like this, like meaning they're marked. You understand, like the Lord's put a label on them, so that this way this is mine. You understand? Like when you seal something, you close it up for yourself. You mark it, you label it, and now this bottle is sealed. You understand? You know where it comes from, who it belongs to. It's closed up. You can't touch it now. You understand? So the Lord putting is a seal or a mark on us. You understand? Like you got the mark of the beast. You understand? That's a mark that they put on you, that you belong to them. Well, this seal, this mark, this is something that belongs to the Lord. You understand?
So they're saying they're waiting for him to pardon.
They're waiting for servants to rise up that are worthy enough to be marked that this is one of us. And now when there's enough of us, that's when everything's closed up. That's when everything's sealed. And then now the Lord's going to move forward with his judgment. You understand? Like if I turn like this and I take this cap off, what could this could be? A beer? Could be a Budweiser? Could be a ginger beer? You don't know what it is till you see the seal, till you see the label, till you see who it belongs to. You understand? Now we know what company. You understand? We know it was established in 1939. You understand? Well, the Lord sealed this school in 1969. That's when this is established, and we're fighting for those seats. You understand? We're fighting to be a part of the 144,000. You understand? Like this is the seal of the school. You see this, what do you think of? Isupk, this is the seal.
Right.
Well, the Lord's putting a seal on us, a mark on us. You understand?
That wouldn't be a seal thing.
Yes, the seal of David. You understand? But we've utilized the seal of David because this is the throne that Yahushua sits on. All right? Read on.
Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000.
Okay.
Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000.
So it goes all the way down, all 12 tribes. You understand? 12 times 12 is 144. But when you add the 1,000 in there, now it's 144,000. This is who's going to have rulership. This is who obeys Christ. If you don't obey Yahushua, you're going to die. If you do obey Yahushua, you're going to be given an opportunity at rulership. And then you have the people who the Lord decided to have mercy on, because And not everyone's going to be in the government. Some people are just going to be civilians. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number.
Now, this multitude that no man could number, this is Israelites. This is the people that the Lord decided to have mercy on.
So, like, doesn't that prove that the number's not necessarily literal?
The 144,000 is literal.
Wow.
You understand? The multitude this is everyone outside of the 144,000. This is the civilians.
Oh,
This is the people that didn't make this number. This is just the people that the Lord decided to have mercy on. Good?
Of all nations and kindreds.
Why? Because Israel comes out of all nations. You understand? Like, I believe you came out of Central America, your people. Am I right? Huh? Oh, you're Judah? Or your husband, though?
Yeah.
He comes out of Central America. You understand? My father comes out of Puerto Rico. You understand? His father comes out the Bronx?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. You get what I'm saying? Like, we done came out of everywhere. We speak all these different languages. We speak in broken English. We speak in Patois. We speak in Creole, Espanol. We speak in, you understand, all these different languages, okay?
I'm learning Spanish.
Sister, get a sister a hand. She learning Spanish. I be trying to learn Spanish. I'm on a job. I'm the only one that speak English right now. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm picking up some things. Look, you feel what I'm saying? Like, ¿tú tienes metro ahí? Metro? No? Okay.
Metro? You mean the metro?
No, the measuring tape. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
You understand? And like the palms is now a sign that they're acknowledging the rulership. You understand? You wave the palms. It's a symbol of, you understand, y'all are the ones that's in charge. You understand? White, because the Lord cleansed them, kept them for himself. You understand? Before the Lamb is Yahushua. And now this is all the civilians. You understand? So this is those that the Lord spared from destruction and had mercy on. All right?
So basically, everybody is that Israelite that he decides to spare is going to be part of the civilians.
It's either going to be a part of the 144,000 or the civilians. All right? Any questions online?
Come, sir. We got a question from Sister Nakab saying, Salakia, sir, I have a question. Is it true, sir, that on Judgment Day, for the ones in truth, we will be working to get into the gates of the kingdom, Salakia, into the gates of the kingdom, or better said, how does it work?
Yeah, like that's basically what we just read about. Like we're working, you understand, to not only get into the kingdom, but to rule it, to have a seat in Christ's government. Like that's what every member of the Isupk is here for. You know what I'm saying? Because we want rulership. You know what I mean? And once again, it's why these brothers try to acquire so much power. It's why with this power we take care of our people. Like I said, we fed hundreds of people this weekend. You know what I'm saying? I can't even count how many people came through. I want to say it was like 400 to 500 that passed through. You know what I'm saying? And out of them, I mean, 300 of them had to be in the world. You know what I mean? And all blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it does. Next question.
Our next question from Officer Paratazar. Salaki Adawan, if I may, Adawan, can I get a general breakdown of 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7 through 9?
Let's go there.
Salaki, if I may. And he also asks in the 9th verse, what does it mean, Salaki Adawan, what does it mean in verse 9, another faith?
What? Another faith?
Come on, God.
All right, let's get there. So we're going to 1 Corinthians 12 and 7 and 9, he says.
Come on, God.
Okay, so this is okay. This is talking about spiritual gifts. All right. Let's start at verse 4. If you could read it for me, Shaul.
Hold on, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 4. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit.
You understand? These gifts are abilities. You understand? Everybody's going to have a different ability or a different capability. And we have all different offices inside the school. Listen, some brothers could prophesy. They'll tell you the future. Some brothers could interpret dreams. Some brothers are vigilant on Shema. They're just amazing with security. They could sense and see danger absolutely everywhere. You understand? Some brothers got that gift of tongues. They could speak in damn near every language you could imagine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to have a different gift or a different ability. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And there are differences of administrations, but the same power.
That's actually, you understand, the same Lord. That's talking about Yahushua. You understand? So meaning, even though we're all in this one body, you understand, Christ is the head.
Right.
So Yahushua rules over everything. But under that, there's still different administrations. There's different offices. There's different duties that have to be performed. Good?
Verse 6. And there are diversities of operations.
So there's different operations. And once again, if you're an officer in the school, it's very easy to understand this just because we have different offices, different, you understand, like, just for example, Cross the Line Radio. This is one of my offices. You have a treasurer, you understand, who handles the money. You understand, different, you have a brother who's in charge of Shema, who's in charge of security. We have all these different operations that we all function in, all these different administrations. Go ahead.
But it is the same power which worketh all in all.
You understand? But it's still for the Most High power that works all in all. Good.
Verse 7. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal.
So meaning the manifestation of this Spirit, this that gives you these gifts, is sent to profit the truth, to bring gain in here, to fish more brothers and sisters, to increase this nation. Which, remember, Yahushua gave those brothers that money and said, flip it. You understand? You get these gifts, it comes with responsibility. We have to be profitable in the work of the Lord. Okay?
Verse 8. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom.
You understand? So one brother could get wisdom, could be extremely wise. You understand? I'll tell you somebody who got this gift right here. That's General Muhammad.
That's right.
You understand? General Muhammad has been given such an incredible, you understand, gift of wisdom. That brother could see into the back of your mind. You understand? Go ahead.
To another, the word of knowledge by the same Spirit.
You understand? So to another, the word of knowledge. This brother might have an incredible memory. You understand? Might be very formidable in knowledge and expertise in a lot of different areas. Good.
Verse 9. To another, faith by the same Spirit.
So when it says to another faith, it's not talking about another faith as in a different belief. It's saying that this person's gift is an abundance of faith. You understand? So meaning that to have that much faith, you understand, is a gift from the Lord. You understand? To be able to understand this, work at it, label at it, go into the streets and do these things. You understand? And truly know that the Lord is with you in all your steps is a gift from the Lord. Good.
I was gonna say that I have like a little story about that. I was pregnant with my second child, and I was about to give birth, but I was 3 weeks ahead. So I ended up praying in my mind, Lord, please get this baby out of me. I can't take it no more. So I had faith that he would do it. We then walked to my mother's friend's house. I was with my mother. And then we walked back to the apartment. Don't you know I had the contractions and I gave birth that day?
Mm.
So that was tremendous faith. And then I wasn't even praying. That was my first time praying.
Well, most high in Christ for that, sis.
I think that would be faith, right?
That was definitely faith as far as belief is concerned, but faith is also works. And then you understand, faith without works is dead. You understand? But there's going to be somebody who believes that they are going to continue to show up to work and be locked all the way in. Good?
Like it. Oh yeah. So what you saying is when the brother is so dedicated to his work that at times it could be it's almost like he brings it home because he's dedicated to it. Workaholic per se.
I wouldn't necessarily say it too much like that. It's just his brother's always on. You understand? Always on everywhere that he goes. Let me know if that answers your question. What's next? Can I please have a precept to show smoking weed is wrong? Okay, I got you. Give me Genesis 1:29.
Good on God. Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. And the Most High said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
So now, all the herbs of the planet, all the plants, they're all bearing seed. You understand? This is what the Lord has given us. Good?
Which is upon the face of all the earth.
Good?
In every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed.
So now, all over the earth, you understand? This yields its seed. It reproduces of itself. Go ahead.
To you it shall be for meat.
It shall be for what?
Meat.
We're supposed to smoke it.
Meat.
What do you do with meat? You eat it. The plants have a purpose. They're to be eaten. Every plant on the planet is lawful to ingest. Now, you're not going to go eat poison sumac because it can kill you. Everything on the planet has a purpose. When it comes down to plants, you have two purposes. It's either for food or it's for medicine. That's it. Every herb bearing seed on the planet can give you understand, is either one of the two. Sometimes it could even be both. You know, like garlic could flavor your food. Garlic is also a natural antibiotic. You know what I'm saying? Onions could season your food. Onions is also excellent for detoxing. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, all of these different things. What is the nutritional value of marijuana? There isn't one. You understand? Just raise your hand next time. No sweat. You all right, sis? You know what I'm saying? So there isn't one, which means that it could have medicinal purposes. Marijuana does have medicinal purposes, but here's the problem. If you abuse medicine, you're a junkie.
Right.
You know, promethazine is lawful. You know, it's unlawful. Getting a styrofoam cup, double cupping it, pouring 3 ounces of promethazine in it, some Sprite, a Jolly Rancher, mixing it up and sipping it till your head feel like it's blowing up like a balloon. You're getting high. You're not taking cough medicine at this time. You understand? You're abusing it. You know, Vicodin is lawful. But if you're taking Vicodin day and night, you're a junkie.
Right.
You understand? Fentanyl, painkillers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody turns around and wakes up in the morning and says, man, I need some penicillin when I wake up. Man, penicillin is so good after a big meal. Yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, that penicillin after sex. Now, the only time penicillin good after sex is if you had slept with a hoe. You understand? But, you know what I'm saying? But when you think about it, that blunt, oh, I wake up in the morning, I need that blunt first thing when I wake up. Oh, I need to smoke. You understand? Right after that big meal, ain't nothing. There's nothing better than smoking after sex. You need to smoke to eat. You need to smoke to sleep. You need to smoke to have sex. You need to smoke to do everything. A plant runs your entire life.
Right.
Now, is that plant helping with your glaucoma? Sure. Do you have glaucoma? No, I didn't think so. Is that plant, you understand, you got cancer and you got nausea, and that plant is helping counteract your nausea so you can eat? I mean, then you should take it. But here's the thing. When you take amoxicillin, when you take a Z-Pack, hell, if you take Robitussin, nasty as hell, you're taking it to stop being sick. And you know what your goal is? To not have to take it anymore, to be healthy. If you have to smoke every single day, you're telling me you're sick. At what point do you want to be healthy?
Right.
At what point do you want to be able to, because, oh, I'm so stressed out, so I got to smoke. Don't you want to be able to face reality without a plant? Don't you want to be able to actually deal with the world without medicine? Because that's what you're telling me when you need to smoke every day. You're telling me I'm sick.
Right.
And now you're self-medicating and you really don't want to be healed because you'd rather be numb, because really you don't want to fight your own demons. You don't want to look inside yourself and say, I'm smoking because my father left and I'm hurt and this numbs it. You understand? I'm smoking because of child abuse and childhood trauma that I have. I'm smoking because of depression. And it's like, that's what happens. Like you smoke because of lack of guidance and peer pressure. And then you realize that it makes you numb from all the pain that you really have. And then as time goes on, life gets more and more stressful and you keep smoking just to deal now. And you have been self-medicating for years.
My coworker told me that our bodies are not made to eat meat. So he was saying that we were born to be vegetarian. I didn't believe him, but I still heard him out.
Now, the scripture says, you understand, that the one who only eats vegetables is weak. Now, you could be a vegan, you could be a vegetarian, whatever. But the reason why someone's weak is because they're weak in faith.
Mm-hmm.
They're weak in understanding. This is how you know that the human body can eat meat. Because Leviticus 11 tells you what meat you can eat and what meat you cannot.
Right.
You understand? So if you're going to turn around and say, oh, we were only made to eat vegetables and fruit and all this other stuff, then you don't believe in the Bible.
Right.
You don't believe that we're allowed to have Passover lamb. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and that's the issue. Now, if somebody only wants to eat fruit and vegetables, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you're only eating fruits and vegetables because you believe eating meat is wrong, you're wrong.
Right.
You're denying, you understand the word of God. Because you think you know better than what the Most High laid down for us. And you don't. If you did, we wouldn't be in captivity. You understand? Good.
I was just thinking that I couldn't believe him, so I kept eating meat.
Right. Now, there are meats that we cannot eat.
Right.
We can't eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, tuna, catfish. You understand? I know if you from the South and where country, I know that catfish is a big one. You understand? But it's a bottom feeder. That fish is so slimy. You had a question?
Come on, so like it was on topic of the weed.
Uh-huh.
In Leviticus 10:1, that strange fire, in a sense, like in the incense, was that weed, sir?
You can't say, you understand, if it's weed because it doesn't say what it is. But weed, if it was put in there, would be a strange incense because the Lord said to burn frankincense and myrrh. So if you're burning something that the Lord told you not to on his altar, it's a strange incense. Sage would be a strange incense. Anything would be a strange incense that he did not ordain. You understand? And especially if you smoking weed thinking you're getting higher to God, getting closer to God, getting closer to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that. Only thing that's the Most High is you right now off your weed. That's it. You ain't getting closer to him. What you're doing is you just fueling your own demons and creating a state of psychosis that's going to lead to schizophrenia.
Wow.
That the Most High is not talking to you. Right?
Come on, Connor, sir. We have another question. We have a question from.
Can you save the 2/3? Is it possible to save more than what the Bible said would die off? I'll tell you what, brother, I pray every day that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? This is what I know, right? When I read the book of Jonah, Jonah said in 40 days, Nineveh shall be destroyed. He didn't say it might. He didn't say repent for destruction is at hand. He said in 40 days, Nineveh shall be destroyed. And then you know what happened? The Lord repented of that destruction because everybody in that city repented. It's for sure possible. And like, you don't want to have like a fake Israelite has the spirit of the 2/3 are going to die. You 2/3 ass nigga, you gonna be unalive. The Lord's going to kill you. That spirit is Satan. You understand? Like you wanna, if you wanna understand like the spirit of the Most High, like and how you're supposed to be in the truth. Give me Romans 9:1.
Romans chapter 9, verse 1. I say the truth in Mashiach. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit.
Good.
Verse 2. That I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
Like, you come in the truth, you're supposed to have compassion on your brothers and sisters. Like, you're supposed to turn around and look at brothers and sisters in the world, and you're not supposed to sit there and hope they get destroyed and that they die and all that. You're supposed to look at them and have sorrow that they don't have what you have. That they don't have this understanding that they're not with us. Good.
Verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
Like, you're supposed to turn around and you're supposed to wish, you're supposed to say, I would suffer for my brothers and sisters if they could get it. Because this is Paul's real desire. Give me Romans 10:1.
Come on, God.
Next chapter. No sweat.
Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High of Slakia, to the power for Israel. Slakia. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that I might be saved.
You understand? That's the prayer and the desire that you're supposed to have for all Israel, is that they're all saved. You understand that maybe the Lord will look down and change his mind like he did in Nineveh.
Right.
You understand that he'll have compassion and mercy, you understand, on all of us. If you're not in that spirit, you don't understand the truth. If you just wishing death on brothers and sisters that's in the world, you're not in the truth.
Right.
You don't understand. Like, if you talking that you're 2/3, you don't know who's 1/3, 2/3, 144,000. Ain't nobody gonna know till the trumpet blows. Ain't nobody know till you hear that trumpet sound. It's he who endures to the end, the same shall be saved. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. I don't think I'm worthy to make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm here laboring. I'm here doing the job. Everything else is left up to the Lord. So if you talking that 2/3, you really might be 2/3. You ever think of that?
Right.
Nobody, none of us know. All right.
Something happened the day that I left work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to work. I work at a nursing home on 138th Street, and these Christians came in and started singing to the old people, and they were singing all these Christian songs and stuff. The people got mad at me. I'm only watching them, making sure they don't fall. But they was mad at me because I wasn't participating. Why would I ever participate in singing Christian songs? I'm not a Christian. They got mad.
Because the scripture says that, you understand, if you were of the world would accept its own. But because the Most High called you out the world, you understand, it's going to deny you. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing, you understand, to be rejected from the church. You know what I mean? Because these are some of the evilest people on the planet.
Right.
All right. Any other questions?
Lots.
Nothing in the chat?
Lots.
Any other questions in the room?
No, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for the next time.
No sweat, sis. All right. So since we've been on the topic, let's talk a little bit about rulership. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 10 and 7.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes.
I've seen servants on horses. Servants ain't supposed to be up on horses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if y'all ever seen Django. Like when Django came up riding on the horse. This was during the time when black folks were supposed to be enslaved, and they called out and said, "There's a nigga on that nag," because they were like, "What is this servant doing on the horse?" But here's the real truth: these other nations are the servants on the horse right now.
Right.
Like the way they saw a black man on a horse and in a seat of power, and they turned around and knew something was wrong. That's how I look when I see Trump in office.
Right.
That's how I look when I see Biden in office.
Right.
That's how I look when, you understand, when the supervisor's white. Like, you're a servant. You're not supposed to be in the seat. Good?
Okay. And princes walking as servants upon the earth.
And that's us. Like, we're the princes of power. We are Yasharallah. That's what Israel is. It's a prince of the power. We are royalty. We're not supposed to be serving these people. We're not supposed to be sweeping their streets. Like in order to free yourself, you need to put yourself in the mind of these other nations in this capacity. They are competing for supremacy. They're not competing for equality. They're not trying to be equal with you. They're trying to rule over you. They're fighting to win. Like if your child's in class with an Asian, that Asian is trying to get better grades than your child.
Right.
He wants to compete. He wants to get the scholarship over your son or your daughter. That's what they want to do. We have to turn around, and you got to realize it's okay to be better than someone else. Now, we don't compete with each other. You understand? We work with each other. But we have to compete against these other nations. And the number one thing you have to realize is we're better than them.
Right.
Shake where does equality exist anywhere? Are you equal with your supervisor? Are you equal with your manager? Are you equal with the police department? Are you equal with the mayor? Are you equal with the captain of your basketball team in high school? You know, there's a reason why people get cut from the basketball team. Because you're not good. Right. There's people better than you, which is why they're on the court and you're not. And guess what? Is the rest of the people on the bench better than the starting five? No. If you were better, you'd be a starter. Israel is the starting five. You understand? Israel's on the Heisman. We are the greatest. That's the mindset that you have to have.
Right.
Like I don't care if you are a Isupk, a so-called Mexican, who just hopped the damn border. You're better than Donald Trump.
That's right.
That's what you have to know. Go ahead, sis.
I just want to say, I had a situation when I was in college, and the teacher asked all of us to do a slideshow of your favorite holiday. So I did that. I said my favorite holiday was Rosh Hashanah. So she was like, "Are you Jewish?" I said, no. So you've been practicing? No. I didn't know it was 2012. I didn't know. And she got really upset with me because she thought that I, the Jew, was showing her up. She was asking me a whole bunch of questions.
And they think that they're better than us. If you walk into a Jewish store and you go to hand them the card, they won't touch it. And if they go to hand the card back to you, you know what they're going to do? They're going to put it on the counter and slide it over to you. They don't want to touch you. They think you're unclean because they think that we're the goyim when we're God's chosen. That's the mindset that they have. Like you could literally see if you could pull this up, right? There's go to YouTube. There's a video, right, where a Jewish man is talking about ruling over. Type in Jewish man says we will have slaves. I want to see if this video is still up. Scroll up. Let me see if I can find it myself. Hold on. I want to see if we could get this video. Let's see. Man, something told me I should have ripped that video when I had it. So he interviewed him, and he turned around and said, when the Messiah returns, we're going to have thousands of slaves of the Goyim. They believe that because they're fighting for supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, when they talk about, like, what do we build? We're not on the construction sites. You guys serve that. You guys do all the work for us. That's why they're in heaven. Because we're the ones that's serving them. You understand?
Come on, come on.
Like, we have to get our mind into the head that we're supposed to be above. Matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 28:1.
Come on, come on. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations.
No, equal to.
All nations.
All men were created equal.
All nations.
Kumbaya, my Lord.
All nations.
We are the world.
All nations.
We are supposed to be above all nations. Go ahead.
Of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth. We are better than them.
Right.
Like if you can get that into your head, you've now defeated, you understand? I mean, 90% of Christianity.
Right.
Because Christianity is trying to get you love white people, serve white people, save white people, white Jesus, Caesar Borgia. Like that's all that it's trying to do. And that's all that these people fight for. Every time I talk to a Christian, that's all they care about. Like, we could be talking about baptism and it's going to get to Gentile discussion.
Right.
It's going to get to how can they be grafted in. Because that's the mechanism of it. Every other religion that if you go into, you'll be serving another race of people. You go become a Muslim, you serve the Arabs. You become a Christian, you serve the white man. You become a Buddhist, you serve the Asian. you need to serve the God of the Bible.
Yes, man.
You understand? And not the God of Christianity. You understand? How does Commander General Yohana say it? Serve the nigga God. Where's the God of niggas? You understand? You want to know where they at? In the Bible. That's a black God. Drop that. Give me Revelations 2 and 25.
Come on, Khan.
Okay.
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come.
Good.
Verse 26.
And what are we holding fast till he comes? We're holding fast to the truth. Good.
Verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end,
Good.
to him will I give power over the
You
nations.
understand? We're supposed to want power over the nations. You're not supposed to be sitting there fighting for last place, fighting for equality. We're supposed to be fighting for rulership, for supremacy. That's what they did. You understand? Like, once again, what nation really fought for equality? Show me equality in the world. Yo, cue the Jeopardy music. It ain't, you're not going to be able to find it. Where is there equality anywhere? That's a lie. That's a delusion for your mind. That's a pacifier. That's false hope. That's to keep you pacified as a slave, to just rock you to sleep. Just false ideologies. There is no equality anywhere. Read on.
Come on, Khan. Verse 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And that's how they need to be ruled. Like these heathens are animals, man. Like you seen that brother halfway out of his mind. He was stealing cigarettes from the store in Brooklyn. Y'all saw what they did to him? They held that brother down, just kept beating him with the mop stick. You understand? That's what we gonna be. Except it ain't gonna be no wooden or plastic handle. It's gonna be with a rod of iron. We gonna keep y'all in line with that. You understand? That's what needs to happen. They need to be put in cages. You see what happens when they police us? They need to be put in check.
Right.
You understand? Drop that. Give me Revelations 5 and 9.
Come on, Khan. Revelations chapter 5 and verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book.
Good.
And to open the seals thereof.
Good.
For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the power by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Good. And out of what?
And nation.
You understand? Meaning, when you come and you take a look at this, right? The Lord redeemed us out of every kindred, tongue, and nation of people. You understand? This is how you know that great multitude that it was talking about in Revelation 7 is us.
Right.
We're the one that's redeemed. Good?
Verse 10. And has made us unto our power kings and priests.
And the Lord made us kings and priests. That's how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be a royal priesthood, man. Good?
And we shall reign on the earth.
We're going to rule the earth. We're going to reign the earth. But you know what? How are we going to rule the earth if we can't rule our own demons? How are we going to rule the earth? You can't give up weed.
Right.
You can't give up a plant. A plant. A weed that grows out the ground is ruling over you. Like how are we going to rule the earth if you can't love your brother as yourself?
Right.
Like these are the things that we got to think about. Everybody want to argue over flat Earth. The Earth round, the Earth flat. Listen, don't talk to me about, you understand. I don't care if we're floating on a cone. I don't care if the Earth is shaped like this. It wouldn't matter to me. Because whatever we floating on, they still killing us.
Right.
They still ruling over us. You understand? We still on the bottom of every socio-economic ladder. Why don't we get in first place? Then we can have philosophical conversations. Then we can turn around. Like you know why white people can go to space? Because they won. They won so much that it's not even the government going to space now. It's Jeff Bezos.
Right.
It's Elon Musk. I've been saying for a long time, Elon Musk is a James Bond villain. You know what I'm saying? Like you looking at the James Bond movie, that is Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? It's Virgin Mobile trying to go to space. That's how much wealth, money, power that they have acquired inside of this world. That they could start up a store online, become, you know, one of the richest billionaires in the world, and then say, let's have a space race. I'm going to build a rocket. It's Tuesday. Let's build a rocket. That's how much power they have. And you want to argue with me over if it's flat, what the firmament is? That's a high argument. You must smoke a lot of weed,
Right.
and then go into the rabbit hole on TikTok. That's where you go. Drop that. Give me 2nd Ezra 7:7.
Oh, God. Second Ezra, chapter 7, verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall.
Start at 6.
Oh, God. Second Ezra, chapter 7, verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things.
This city, this is like the kingdom. This is our inheritance. This is that rulership. This is everything that we're talking about. This is escaping oppression. You know what I mean? This is freedom. Good.
Verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow.
But to get there, it is a very narrow path. Good.
And is set in a dangerous place to fall.
And it is a dangerous journey. It is very easy to fall off of a narrow path. Good.
Like as if there were a fire on the right hand.
So just picture a fire on one side of this path. Good.
And on the left, a deep water.
And a deep water on the left. Danger on both. You could burn, you could drown. You know what I'm saying? Good.
Verse 8. And and one only path between them both.
Everybody always thinks that there's a million different ways. You ever hear somebody say, well, I believe that all the religions got some truth in it. It doesn't matter the highway that you take. They all lead. Nah, that's not how this works. There's only one way. You got on the wrong highway. You in Buddhism, you on the wrong road. You in the Christian church, you on the wrong road. Any of the hundreds of denominations. You in the Muslim mosque, you on the wrong road. You in the IUIC or Sakari, you on the wrong road. Let me not just highlight them, you know what I'm saying? But all the fake Israelites.
Right.
Good?
Even between the fire and the water.
Even between the fire and the water, good?
So small that there could but one man go there at once.
You can't, the path is, hold on for 1 second. The path is so narrow, only one person could get through it at a time. Like that's how the path is. It's very easy to fall off something like that, okay?
Verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance.
Meaning that our inheritance is what? The kingdom of heaven that's going to be where? On earth. That's where these kings and these priests are going to rule, good?
If he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
You understand? You got to understand that this is going to be a battle. You got to understand that this is life or death. It's either you make it or you're in that fire or that water. There's no in between. Like the Most High is not 50-50. It don't work like that. There's no gray area with him. You're either locked in or you're not. You're hot or you're cold. There's no way around it. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
Even so is Israel's portion. You understand? Even so is Israel's inheritance. This is how it's set up for us to get back home. You understand? If you want rulership, you're going to have to fight for it. You got a question?
No, one of the questions is statement. IUIC accepts white people now in their organization.
They just might. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, I saw them wearing the clothes on the post.
Listen, man, that is a wicked play. That is a whorehouse. You understand? Let's drop that. Let's go to give me 2nd Ezra 2:43.
Come on, God. Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 43.
Go up. Hold up. 37.
Come on.
6.
Come on, God.
6. 36.
Come on, God.
35.
Come on, God.
Salaki.
Come on. Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 35. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom.
You got to be ready to the reward of the kingdom. And you know how you're ready for the reward of the kingdom? Never stop working. Good?
For the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore.
And that's what we all fighting for. This is supposed to be an everlasting kingdom. Good?
Verse 36. Flee the shadow of this world.
We have to leave the world and never look back. Good?
Receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly.
Good?
Verse 37. Oh, receive the gift that is given you, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that hath led you to the heavenly kingdom.
You understand? And that's why we say Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah. You understand? Good?
Verse 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that are sealed in the feast of the Lord.
So now this is, remember, we're talking about those that are sealed. This is literally what we read about in Revelations. Good?
Verse 39. Which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord.
Now remember, that innumerable multitude was what? They were wearing glorious garments of white. Good?
Verse 40. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white.
And this is, once again, this is what we saw in Revelations when we received the kingdom. Good?
Which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
And now this is another cut to the Christian church, because when they turn around and say that Yahweh Shah fulfilled the law like it was done away with, these brothers and sisters fulfilled the law, meaning what? They kept the law. Good?
Verse 41. The number of thy children, whom thou hast longest for, is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed.
You understand? Meaning what? The children of Israel. That's been his people called from the beginning. Good?
Verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number.
That was that innumerable multitude clothed in white. Good?
And they all praised the Lord with songs. Verse 43. And in the midst of them was a young man of a high
You
stature,
understand? This is Yahushua. This is the king of Israel. Good?
taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns.
He said what?
Crowns.
And that's what we fighting for. You understand? He crowning the 144,000, giving rulership over the planet Earth. Good?
And was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
You understand? And he was more exalted than all of them. Good?
Verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these?
Good?
Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
You understand? Now are they crowned and receive palms. And that's what we're fighting for. We have to go down that narrow path. We have to be able to fight for that. And if we do that, them servants is going to be knocked off them horses. You understand? And they will become servants once more. That's what needs to happen. All right. Any questions online? All right. Any questions in the room? All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. This might be a good breakdown to go into next week. I said the mark of the beast. I'm going to do a breakdown in a couple of weeks. I'm looking for one thing specifically. I could probably Google it, but I know I got the breakdown in here. Yeah, go. Let me get 1 Kings 9 and 17, Baba Kasha.
Come on.
I knew I'd find it.
First Kings chapter 9, verse 17. And Solomon built Gezer the Beth-horon the Nether. Verse 18. And Baalath the Tadmor in the wilderness in the land.
Good.
Verse 19. And all the cities of store that Solomon had.
So I want y'all to understand this, right? Solomon was the king of Israel, and he had cities that he strictly used for store. You understand? Like, if you wanna imagine what the kingdom of heaven is gonna be like, this is an excellent verse in order to comprehend that, because we're so used to being servants. Like we don't know. Like when you think of, at one time Haiti was strictly used to grow sugarcane. They treated Haiti like a store city. You understand? Like that's how much power that Solomon had, where he was able to use a nation for this one specific purpose. Read on.
God. In the cities for his chariots.
He had a city just for his chariots. Could you imagine that? He had a store city. This city's going to take care of my chariots. Go ahead.
And cities for his horsemen.
Got a city. This is just where they raised the horses at. Good.
And that which Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem and in Lebanon and in all the land of his dominion.
All these different lands, meaning this was the expanse of his kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And all the people that were left.
So meaning, now he's talking about that in these areas, there's other nations. Go ahead.
Of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and the Jebusites, which were not of the children of Israel.
So these nations, right, the remnant that survived, good.
Verse 21, their children that were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel also were not able utterly to destroy.
I mean, Israel came in there to destroy them, but you understand, but these bastards, you understand, survived like roaches. Good?
Upon those did Solomon levy a tribute of bond service unto this day.
You understand? He levied a tribute, a tax. But you know what this tax was? Service.
God.
If you're going to be in this land, you're going to serve the children of Israel. So those cities with the store, they take care of the store. Those cities with the horses, they're taking care of the horses. Those cities with the chariots, they shine in the chariots, building the wheels, doing the maintenance. Okay?
Verse 22. But of the children of Israel did Solomon make no bondmen.
Meaning, in that time, wasn't none of the children of Israel doing that servile work. They were not in bondage to Solomon. They were not doing that lowly work. They left that for the heathens.
Right.
Good?
But they were men of war.
They were what?
Men of war.
These brothers, because they were not focused on servitude, were able to focus on war. They were able to become strong. Good?
And his servants, and his princes, and his captains, and rulers of his chariots, and his horsemen.
This is like the closest thing that you could see to the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go and you look at that, everyone being free, the nations serving us. You understand? Our king ruling over Jerusalem and an expanse of all these lands. Like that's the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
Is Yahushua sitting on that throne, ruling over these other nations, and us living in glory. Good.
No job.
There's going to for sure be jobs. I mean, you see, he had servants, he had people who were in offices, but you want to think high positions. You understand? You want to think aristocracy. You want to think nobles. You understand? Like you don't want to think shoveling shit in a stable. That's for the parasites, the Jebusites, the heathens, the other nations.
Right.
You understand? They could deal with horse manure. That's better. You know, Salakia.
That's right.
You understand? They could deal with the manure. Ain't no manure for us.
Right.
You understand? Any other questions? All right, we'll get one more scripture before we wrap up. Let me get Isaiah 60 and start at 1 for now.
Come on, God. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
Yeah, if you ever heard when they talk about, you understand, the light onto the Gentiles, you understand, this is how Israel's going to be a light to the Gentiles. See, like in Christianity, it makes you think that you have to serve the heathens. We have to go teach the other nations the truth. That's not the light to the Gentiles. Okay?
Verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
This is the light of the Most High that shines onto Israel. You understand? This is the glory that comes, because if you're not in light, what are you in?
Dark.
Raise your hand. Darkness. You're in darkness. Israel's in darkness when we're in captivity.
Right.
When we're being destroyed. That's when we're in darkness. Now the Lord's having mercy on us. The light's on us. Now we get to shine. Like you know, who shines inside of America? How about movie stars?
Right.
How about rock stars? Don't they shine?
God.
Why do they shine? They're famous. They're well known. They live delicious. Well, when the Lord's light shines on Israel, we become the stars, the illuminated ones, the rulers, the ones with the might and the power and the fame. Okay?
Verse 3. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
You understand? Meaning the kings is going to come. And you know what's going to happen? Drop down to verse 10.
Verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
You understand? So when these kings and these nations come to us, they're going to build the walls. They're going to build our kingdom. Their kings, minister means to serve. Their kings are going to become servants to a king is going to become servants to the children of Israel.
Right.
Good?
Verse 11. Therefore thy gate shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night.
Meaning you have a city that never sleeps?
Right.
That's going to be Israel. It's going to be the city that never sleeps. Meaning it's going to be like the city, so much treasure and riches and tribute is going to be coming into the city. It's going to have to be open day and night for how much they're going to bring in. Good?
That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
Good?
And that their kings may be brought.
And their kings are going to come pay that tribute. They're going to give everything back that they stole. Everything back that they took from us. Good?
Verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Shall what?
Perish.
They're going to be destroyed. You understand? Those that wish for me, Yahweh to not rule over them, they're going to be destroyed. Every knee shall bow, and the knees that don't, they're going to perish. Go ahead.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
That's what I want.
That's right.
I want to see the fall of my enemies. I want to see the rising of this nation. I want to see Yahweh crack that sky with them 200,000 angels, and I want a piece of rulership.
Right.
And with that, pass the class over to priest and officer Shaw.
Clap it up for the class.